us down. Their fire sticks cracking, and you hear blood spilled on the ground. The elders prayed for enemies, children yet unborn, for all that moves upon the earth. They mourn, mourn, mourn.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Here it is, March 21st. As I grew up, the unofficial first day of spring, although the equinox happened a couple of days ago.
Well, they keep
and
things like that
CBC
up.
says yesterday, and like so, there is no set standard to this. They lied to me all these years, but I still go by the 21st, and for us, it's the first full day of spring. And what a better way to do and celebrate that than to have Joe Charron come over from the mainland, visiting his granddaughters, I might add. The journey's not for us. It's for those two little girls. Beautiful photos, too, and those cowboy hats and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be just some of your biggest fans, I bet.
Yeah. Well, they're growing up here in the Cowichan Valley, and their mom and dad are really outdoorsy, so they're off to a really good start.
That's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. By the way, I've been loving some of those pictures up in the interior where you go up to that, you do that horse stuff up there.
What's that?
Where you do? I've seen you up there on some horses up in the interior.
Oh yeah. I have a couple of friends that are ranchers up there, and one of them in particular is a fifth generation rancher. He runs about 400 or 500 head of Black Angus cattle.
Jeez,
and, so lots of chasing cows going on up there.
So when you're up there, it's kind of a little bit of a muse going on. Yeah, you're a great country in a country root or a roots country kind of feel. You're able to grab what those people do and be able to put it into words in such a way that it enlightens us all to what's going on. I really appreciate it. I'm sure glad you're here because you're also going to be here on Tuesday.
Yeah.
With the wonderful, the great Eugene Smith, Bill Levity, and their Stories and Tunage, I call it. Yeah. Road Stories and Tunage.
Yeah, it's a fun show. I just watched actually the Steve McKinnon episode, and I like what they're doing with this show. Yeah,
that's great. It's fun. As Eugene says, it's keeping him busy for the last year of COVID, right? At least he's got something to do every week. What is that? That's episode number 35 coming up this week? 34. Yeah. Wow. Then he's going to take a break.
There'll be some great stories.
Oh, yeah. I heard you got some. Well, it'll be a little treat. We'll just have to wait and see. Tune in on Tuesday at 5 o'clock. Yeah. You'll enjoy it. But right now, we're doing a 3 o'clock in the afternoon show because that means all you people back in Ontario. And I know that Joe has a lot of family back there and friends. Maybe John and Michelle are watching today. That'd be so cool.
I was. I got to visit with them last fall. I was back for my mom's funeral in Ontario and got to go down south to Kingsville and hang out with them for a couple of days, and geez, we went into. John's got a great new studio there called Prospect Studio, and we put one song down and we said we got to do another album.
Oh yeah. You do. They're quite interesting people that they're down there still producing what they are, and like Kingsville Folk Festival and all that stuff. It's great to see that all our friends are still out there doing the best they can. And COVID's been hard on us, but in this case, it's given Joe a whole bunch of new stuff to write about in a whole year just to spend some time writing new songs. We're going to get some of those today, and I'm sure glad you were able to come over today, Joe. Joe Charron for the next hour. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Long John. So we'll do a few songs from the COVID collection here. Love first came to visit, showed up as the 9-year-old, blue eyes freckled, and hair the color of summer wheat. We lay together in a field of grass, making daisy chains, told each other across our hearts secrets we swore never to repeat. Those secrets flew away like birds on a summer wind. I cried because I thought I knew they would never come back again. The heart of a 9-year-old is made of the stuff of daisy chains. It can bloom again, become a brand new thing. Here I am sitting in the park, thinking about a girl who's leaving town. I just walked her down to the station and watched her board a train. You learn to set love free before you learn how to be its friend. I look down, and in my hands I'm holding a daisy chain. Secrets fly away like birds on a summer wind, but I have come to know they can always come back again to a heart that's open wide and made of the stuff of daisy chains. It can bloom again, become a brand new thing. Yeah, a heart that's open wide and made of the stuff of daisy chains. It can bloom again, become a brand new thing. That's a song. Actually, I wrote that song a year ago today, right at the beginning of the pandemic, and played it in public for the first time at 39 Days of July here in Duncan last year, right here. Yeah. I'm going to do another one from the. Like Long John was talking about my friends who ranch up in the interior here. This next song is kind of a ranching song. Ranch romance. My uncle Frank always wanted to be a cowboy. He thought he missed his calling, but he used to read these dime novels called ranch romance, and he gave me boxes of these ranch romance novels, and I used to read them when I was a kid, pretty young, and fantasize about riding the range with some beautiful woman on horseback. Anyway, this song is it's called "Chilcote and Wind," and it was inspired by this is a true story, or at least it was inspired by a true story. I've embellished it a little bit. About a Chilcotin woman called Chewood, who was known for her great beauty and her horsemanship. Oh, that's not it. I'm not in the right key here. Let's try that again. How many times do I get? That's better. Chilcotin wind on the Chilcotin plateau, easing the raven black hair of the girl on Palomine. My cayute's mare and I giving our best in a contest that's so hard to win. chasing the girl from the Mad Valley who rides like the Chilcotin wind. There was a time I rode the open range, making a living with my straps and lasso, chasing strays. But when I saw her climb aboard that golden horse, I knew life would not be the same. I hung up my lasso and I chased that girl down the Chilcotin wind. She cast a spell I couldn't resist, someone so wild and free. The sky is her blanket, the sun and the moon and the stars keep her company. And she wakes up ahead and I know I will never be alone again. I'll ride with the girl with the raven black hair down that Chilcotin wind. Chilcotin wind, I know you're a friend of mine. I hear you singing my love song to her through the white bark pines. The white mountain avens circle her feet like lace work against her brown skin. And our laughter is blown across the plateau by Chilcotin wind. She cast a spell, couldn't resist, someone so wild and free. We ride with the sun and the moon and stars shining down on her knee. And she takes my hand and I know I will never be alone again. I'll ride with the girl with the raven black hair down the Chilcotin wind. I'll ride with the girl with the raven black hair down that Chilcotin wind. Chilcotin wind. Thank you so much. Well, certainly this pandemic has given a lot of us who are songwriters time to sit and practice that craft. And I have another song that I've written during this time. I was sitting noodling around on the guitar thinking I really like to write a song with just two chords. And so this one showed up. It's actually became a sort of a reflection on the influence Hank Williams had on my earlier days as a musician, a singer. It's called Me and Hank. Let's go. Sometimes when I'm lost on the highway, out there with the wind in my hair, and the lonesome wail of a train across a cornfield, me and old Hank belong there. We used to hang out take my guitar, walk into some bar, and I will play them honky-tonk blues. Well, it must have been cold in that Cadillac on New Year's Day in '53. I first heard you sing on our old Philco radio. I don't hear you that much these days, but I hear that old train over yonder. And Hank, I think that is my cue. I'm gonna go find a bar with some good steel guitar. I'm gonna ask for the honky-tonk blues. Gonna ask for the honky-tonk blues. And sometime when I'm on the lost highway, out there with the wind in my hair, and the lonesome wail of a train across cornfield, me and old Hank belong there. Yeah, me and old Hank belong there. Me and old Hank. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to. I've been listening to Townes Van Zandt a lot again lately. He's always been one of my favorite writers. Obviously renowned as a songwriter, and lots of people recorded Townes, but he never really got the never really got the credit he deserved. But certainly, people have made his songs into great hits, and this next one is a song called "If I Needed You," and Emmylou Harris honors that song by calling it probably one of the greatest love songs ever written, and I guess you have to take her word for it because she certainly has a lot of cred. So there we are here. If I needed you, would you come to me? Would you come to me to ease my pain? If you needed me, I would come to you. I would swim the sea for to ease your pain. In the night forlorn, the morning's born, and the morning shines with the lights of love. You will miss this sunrise if you close your eyes, and that would break my heart in two. Ladies with me now, since I showed her how to lay her lily hand in mine. Looping Lil Grey, she's a sight to see and a treasure for the poor to find. If I needed you, would you come to me? Would you come to me to ease my pain? If you needed me, I would come to you. I would swim the seas for to ease your pain. If I needed you. Townes Van Zandt. All right. A few years ago, I wrote a song for a video that was part of a movement on social media to try to save this elderly farmer's heritage farm from expropriation. The farmer's name is Frank Myers, and it was a valiant effort. Frank fought the government in court for about 7 years, and in the end, he lost his farm. But this the song's called Rag and Bone. Frank looks down the concession road as the neighbors are all gone. Now there's only one old pair of hands to carry on. Rag and bone, dance with the devil in a field of corn. Down on Myers Creek Road, the devil owns the boys in the band, and they sing the song of the government man. Ashes and dust, rag and bone. Captain John lies in his grave where the Moira runs on down into the Bay of Quinte in that southern Ontario town. He fought the Yankee rebels under General John Burgoyne, and he built the town of Myers Creek in 1789. Rag and bone, dance with the devil in a field of corn. Down on Myers Creek Road, the devil owns the boys in the band, and they sing the song of a government man. Ashes and dust, rag and bone. Frank looks down the concession road, his neighbors are all gone. Now there's only one old pair of hands to carry on. The last crop standing in the field behind a chain link fence. 7 years of fighting back that made no difference. The mailbox holds the final shot, the final musket ball. The boys can play their games of war, justice takes the fall. So tear it down, oh, tear it down, you hear it in the wind. To hell with 1798, they want that Myers land. Rag and bone, dance with the devil in a field of corn. Down on Myers Creek Road. The devil owns the boys in the band, and they sing the song of a government man. Ashes and dust, rag and bone. Captain John, rise up, they lay your claim to waste. Myers Farm is under siege, the enemy's at the gate. It's blacktop over fertile ground, if fear and loathing wins. It's beans and corn and knives and guns, rise up and lead your kin. No more cattle in the field, no crops rise in the sun. Tear down the barns you built by hand, let plowshares go to rest. They'll train the boys to stand on guard, keep terrorists on the run. They'll build a fort on Myers Farm, just watch the bastards come. Rag and bone, dance with the devil in a field of corn. Down on Myers Creek Road. The devil owns the boys in the band, and they sing the song of a government man. Ashes and dust, rag and bone. Rag and bone, dance with the devil in a field of corn. Down on Myers Creek Road. The devil owns the boys in the band, and they sing a song of a government man. Ashes and dust, rag and bone. Ashes and dust, rag and bone. That's Rag and Bone, the Ballad of Frank Myers. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to do a song that I wrote it quite a few years ago, actually, and I wrote it as a waltz tune, kind of, but been playing around with it recently, and I've kind of changed the approach to it a little bit. But I wrote it when I was going to university in Toronto, and traveling from my home in Muskoka back and forth. When I'd go back to Muskoka to visit, I'd take the bus from Toronto up to Bracebridge, and I used to sit for hours sometimes in the Bay Street bus terminal, which was kind of an interesting place to watch humanity, the ebb and flow of humanity, all the flotsam and jetsam. And I wrote this song there, sitting there. It's called The Harbor. He was raised in a pulp town in Ontario, but he never got used to the smell. At 18 he packed up and he moved to Toronto, looking for stories to tell. He sat on a stool in a watering hole and he strummed on his old hummingbird, and the words flew away like a cry in the night, and they listened but they never heard. He told them a story how a boy from the country fell in with St. Christopher's crew, how he learned how to laugh in the face of a hurricane. That's a thing all young mariners do. He sailed into town in a big highway schooner with dogs howling tight at her stern, to a place in the harbor where sailors raise glasses to shipmates that never return. They bought him around and he sat at their table, and they drank to his health and his kin. As he went through the door, the one from Jamaica said, "We're never gonna see him again. But don't buy him flowers tonight. Send him away with a smile. There's a lot of rough road between riches and rags. It just goes on mile after mile." Well, someone said they saw him in a cab in California. Some rich woman was paying his fare. Then somebody else said, well, maybe he's in a taxi in a Bel Air. Then somebody else said, well, maybe he was looking for a woman who in here tonight. She was tall and good looking and loaded with diamonds, but she kept saying there's something not right. He used to bring flowers and take me out dancing, and he used to write songs in the night. I took care of everything else that he needed. I paid for it time after time. He said that he loved me, but he looked right past me at something way back on his trail. He rode out one morning, never came back. I don't know where to forward his mail. They bought her around, and she sat at their table, and they drank to her health and her kin. She went through the door, the one from Jamaica said, we're never gonna see her again. Don't buy her flowers tonight. send her away with a smile. There's a long, rough road between riches and rags, and it just goes on mile after mile. Don't buy her flowers, no flowers tonight. Don't fall in love with her smile. And there's a long, rough road between riches and rags. It just goes on mile after mile. It's called The Harbor. Thank you. I'm going to finish up with a couple songs from my current album. This one is kind of a love song, but it's more like a Greek tragedy, I think. I don't. Called Carolina River. That river, it runs like it's a little insane. And Caroline had a camp there in the summer, just above the canyon where the willows turn to grass and the whiskey jacks and ravens come to dinner. There's a lullaby from heaven in the pines up on the ridge, and Caroline spread a blanket in the moonlight. We pretend forever is a word we both know. We talk about it long into the night. And she wants to know if lightning is souls going home, if the sky is a blanket full of hope, where the light shines through from the campfires of the angels. When love is leaving, who knows where it goes? And I lie there in the comfort of that northern summer night with a woman who's sister to the moon. And I've gone too far, but not far enough, 'cause Caroline's already past the point of no return. And I know, river, why they call you the Caroline, like that crazy woman. She was a friend of mine, and I walked her sandy shores. I finally know now just how me and her will come together in your wild arms, Caroline River. Morning comes too early when your head's full of wine and your body is all hot with her perfume. There's a thin hard edge to the riverbank this morning. I stand there looking at that white canoe, and it's wrapped around a boulder at the bottom of the gorge like the arms of some apocalyptic angel. I remember how she said forever is an adjective that lets you off the hook. You're looking for an angel. And I know the river, why they call you the Caroline. You are like that crazy woman. She was a friend of mine, and I'll walk her sandy shore. I finally know now just how me and her will come together in your wild arms, Caroline River. Yeah, I know the river, why they call you the Caroline. You are like that crazy woman. She was a friend of mine, and I walk your sandy shore. I finally know now just how me and her will come together in your wild arms, Caroline River. Caroline River. Carolina River. Thank you. I'm going to finish off. This is the, and by the way, thanks again for inviting me over to play at the showroom. And thank you, Tim, for doing sound, and Trevor. Such a great place to play, and Longevity, John. Thank you. Thanks for everything you guys do for music here in the valley and up and down the island, right across Canada. So that title track from my current album, it's called This Place Called Home. Oh, the wind is picking up. Clouds are gathering across this field of corn. The barn door's banging in the wind. The air is feeling like we're headed for a storm. There've been times we've had to sit this out before. Times it got so dry the crops died in the field. We've never given up, 'cause that's the way we're born. Born and raised to carry on in this place called home. This old concession room, I know every rut beneath my pickup wheel. And even if I close my eyes, this road will take me home, at least that's the way it feels. My hands are leather bound, I'm just a We have worked this land for gone 200 years. But we've never given up, 'cause that's the way we're born. Born and raised to carry on in this place called home. Place called home. I can hear the flash of lightning. I can hear the thunder roll. I never was that much for fighting. I can still answer the call. I can see a flash of lightning. this place called home. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe Charron. We really appreciate that, man. That was a wonderful journey. And home. Well, we, in our way, we kind of consider this home for you because you were here for quite a while.
That was
When you were 50, didn't you run a marathon?
Oh, do you have to bring that up? I don't.
But you did. I've never.
I didn't run it so much as endured it.
Okay. Still, that's a pretty big feat to do. I'm sure glad you did. Anyway, we like to call him a homeboy, although he is from Bracebridge, and you'll get over that.
Yep.
Yeah. Never. That's a great area around there. Thank you very much, Joe, for spending the afternoon with us.
Yeah, thank you.
If you want to donate, you can. There's a way to do it just at the bottom of the screen. You'll see where it is. All that helps keep us going, even though CERB and the governments and all that with their grants are helping us. There's still other expenses that we're trying to stay alive with. And to bring you things like this, make sure you pass it along. Introduce them to Joe Charron. And how do we get a hold of your music?
Well, there's joecharronmusic.com, my website, and from there you can get all the information on how to follow me and how to buy my merch.
Good. Okay. Thanks very much. See y'all later. Bye for now.
I try to fight my nature. I try to hide what's true. The world keeps telling me how I should be, but nature always slips through. Old habits die hard. Old habits die hard. Old habits die hard. Old habits die hard. I've been feeling so lost. So many voices in my head. The world keeps telling me how I should be, but I